Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk a little bit about my anxiety journey, should I say. I am going to talk you through kind of where I've come from, the kind of lowest bit that led me to where I am today, and yeah, just give you a bit of an update on that. So I have had anxiety since I can remember. I remember as, let me fix my top. I remember as a small child being like, just lying awake at night thinking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about when I'm 5 or 6, like things like, oh, my parents are going to die and all this kind of thing, like things I really shouldn't have been thinking of when I was that age. And I remember all throughout my teens feeling physically sick before nights out, being paranoid really that people were talking about me behind my back, or that people were looking at me on nights out and stuff like that. Not like, I don't know, my dad always says I might be paranoid but it doesn't mean they're not out to get me, so yeah, that says something. But that might account for some of it, the being paranoid, but there was definitely bullying and name calling and people talking about my weight and all that kind of thing throughout my whole childhood and my teens and stuff, which obviously didn't help. And then when I got to about 18, 19 at university, I remember having panic attacks on the bus. I don't know if anybody knows the University of Ulster at Jordanstown. If you live in Belfast city centre, you have to get a bus out to Jordanstown. And I remember feeling really trapped on that bus a couple of times and starting to hyperventilate and needing to get off the bus, like as soon as it, like hurry up, as soon as it pulled in, being like, Beale, get off this bus now, and not really understanding it, to be honest. And it was only really when I got up into my 20s, probably early 20s, that I realised what anxiety actually was. And I went through a lot with my mum being ill and stuff like that, which affected me at university. It affected how I processed things, how I spoke to people, how relationships were formed and subsequently unformed at university, and friendships afterwards. It affected how my ability to see other people's issues, because I, as anybody with a mental health condition would understand, that sometimes it can make you quite wrapped up in your own world. I don't want to say selfish, because there's no malice or no malintent, it's just that it can make you quite insular and quite kind of wrapped up in your own head, should I say. So I kind of got a bit like that, and I was always confident and stuff outwardly. I'm going to a lot through this video because it's not particularly comfortable for me to talk about in front of a camera, as you can probably understand. But it really hit me. So I started seeing a guy who was from England, Leeds obviously, and I was living in Belfast at the time, and we did the long distance thing, and we decided that I would move over here. And the first 2 years of being in Leeds, having left all my family behind, my friends behind, I would say that was probably the lowest point of my anxiety. I literally wouldn't go to the corner shop across the road without, my ex with me. I didn't really go out, I didn't really make friends that much. I made friends at arm's length. I didn't really kind of have a life apart from with him, and to be quite honest, he didn't really like going out and doing that much anyway, so it was very kind of restricted. The only time I really did anything was when I was back home, and that was because obviously I felt comfortable back in Northern Ireland. I had my friends and stuff like that there, but friends did notice when I went back home that I just wasn't myself. And then I started blogging on YouTube, And that really helped. Well, I broke my leg first of all, and then I started blogging on YouTube, and that really helped because I started making friends with bloggers from Leeds and stuff like that, and there was a lot of events which started getting me out of the house a bit more, and started going out a bit more. I met my friend Daniela, who has been like an absolute star. She understands, she gets it, and she allows for it but pushes me as well, and she is like the fiercest protector. So if I ever felt like paranoid on a night out, she'd, you know, make sure that I was alright and stuff like that. So I mean, I did things like meditation and things, used headspace and stuff like that to try and kind of minimise the symptoms, but I never ever got any professional help. In fact, the first time I ever went to a doctor about my anxiety was about 2 months after my mum died, and I just was like, I need to go and see about this now, because obviously it got a lot worse when my mum died, understandably. And the doctor referred me, or told me to do the self-referral to IAPT, and I did that, and they basically offered me group counselling sessions, which with anybody with like a social anxiety, you know, element to their anxiety, or just social anxiety in general, would understand that that's not really your comfort zone. So I didn't do it. It just wasn't going to be for me. So then I became single after 7.5 years of being in like a little kind of, I don't know, bubble. And that caused me no end of anxiety, meeting different guys, doing the dating thing, just stressed me out a lot. And I then obviously, you know, met Andrew, and everything was great in that respect, but I still had anxiety, and I still never got any kind of counselling or help. And I went through peaks and troughs of it, and the peaks and troughs would last anywhere from like a couple of hours to like days to like maybe weeks or months at a time. And I started to about, hang on, how long was it? So about September, August last year, I think it was, there was a period of about a month where I was just feeling really low every day. Anxiety was like peak levels. Nothing in particular had happened. I think that my job can be quite stressful as well, if you let it be, I suppose, but it can be quite stressful. And I think just everything built up. So in September of last year, I ended up having this massive panic attack in work, which I think I had one panic attack in work before, and that was because someone was talking about something medical related, and I'm really like, makes me really panicky when people start talking about like blood and medical procedures and stuff. So, but I was able to handle it. I was able to bring myself back round pretty quickly with that one. But this one lasted quite a long time, and I was really shook up afterwards. And I just decided that I needed to go home, and I ended up taking some time off work. And during that time, my work have got an employee assistance program, and they offer counselling over the phone, and they can also offer some like face-to-face sessions as well. And and so I contacted, on that day I had the panic attack, I contacted them because I knew that I needed to reach out for some support. And they were really good, they really listened. My boss was really good as well about me having the time off. She just wanted me to get myself right. I had been telling her for this month that I wasn't feeling good, that I was just not myself, that, you know, I knew that things were coming to a crux, should I say, you know, a crossroads where I needed to get some kind of support. And so they were really good, and they said they would look for a counsellor for me. And I told them that I have a big thing about travel anxiety. See how I'm sitting all tensed up because I'm so uncomfortable. I've got my blanket and I'm sat here going like, because I've got like a satin edge, and I really like rubbing it on my fingers and my face and stuff. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. But yeah, if you can hear like scratchy in the background, it's that. So yeah, they said they would get me a counsellor, but I've got this massive like thing about travelling new places on my own or even with other people. It makes me really anxious, and I said, look, can you try and find me a counsellor near here? And also through work I have BUPA cover, and I'd already been looking into seeing, you know, if there was any therapists, counsellors, psychologists really, in this area. And I've been looking at this doctor through the BUPA thing, and who was like in my area, and it was quite, she looked like the kind of thing that I wanted to do. And so I was looking at doing the BUPA thing through, or going to her through BUPA, but then the EAP called me and they said that they found this doctor near me, and it was her. So I was like, oh, this is meant to be. So I went for my initial assessment, and I just really clicked with her, and she suggested to my work that 16 sessions would be like a good place to start, and work don't usually offer that many face-to-face sessions because this is all free, or they're paying for it, it's free to me. And they agreed to the 16 sessions, and so I started seeing her initially once a week whilst I was off work, and then when I went back to work I started doing once a fortnight. So that's been since like the end of September, start of October I think. So I think I've had something like 8 or 9 sessions so far, and she's doing a combination of things like exposure therapy, EMDR, which I don't know if any of you know. I will try and find a link to what EMDR is and put it in the description, but it's really interesting and I do really think that it's helping. I still get my anxiety and my down days, but I'm learning to maybe reframe things a little bit. I don't like using that word because it's not always possible for people to reframe their thoughts, but I'm learning maybe not to dwell on things quite as much or to internalize what other people put out there, because if you think about what other people might think about you, even if they do think about you, which is usually unrealistic, because it's your own self telling you what they're thinking, which you don't know what they're thinking. But even if they are thinking that, well, that's on them, that's their own internal world that they're dealing with. So something has obviously caused them to think or feel that way or to act that way. So it's not like I'm a good person, I'm a nice person, so it's not me that's done anything. Anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, so I thought that I would tell you where I'm at on my kind of anxiety journey. I would really urge that if you are getting to that point, or even if you have previously been at that point and you're even in like fairly good space with your mental health at the minute, therapy is, I was always like really reluctant to go to it, but it's really helped me, and I think I would kind of wish that I'd done it sooner, but obviously you can't wish your life away, can you? So yeah, I don't know if you've realised how uncomfortable I've been throughout this whole video. I just thought I'd share it in case anybody else has been through a similar thing and wants some kind of perspective, or wants my perspective on the whole thing. If you have any questions, obviously, you know, I'm not going to answer anything really personal about me, but if it's anything, you know, about my therapy or what I find helpful for me, let me know in the comments. I might do like a whole video of like anxiety tips or something like that if you'd like to see that. So if you have liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, please hit subscribe and comment and let me know what your thoughts are. So thanks for watching, bye!